Today we're going to take a look at the Sage Canaday flavor by Spring Energy Canaberry. No run footage for today because today was a rest day, resting up before the F3 half marathon in Chicago along the lakefront. It is going to be absolutely cold. It was cold today, and I've never been more happy to take a rest day because the temperatures were hovering around 0 to 4 degrees for most of the day. Even just commuting, getting the girls to and from school and getting to and from work was just absolutely difficult, painful. I had to suit up today for work, and so wearing dress shoes is probably one of the least prudent things one can do when the wind chills are what they were today. For the race on Saturday, tomorrow, the predicted air temp at race time is going to be 4 degrees, so that's going to be interesting. And one of the gels I am going to bring with me is the Canaberry by Spring Energy. Now, this is something that I've been looking at for a little bit now. I'm a big Sage Canaday fan, and I've seen the ads that he puts out for it, and I know that he brings it along with him for a lot of his trail runs, and I'm intrigued by it because this product is vegan. Not that I'm vegan, but I'm interested in vegan products for running nutrition, because I kind of go on one of two ends of the spectrum. Either I want to have very natural fuels that my body can absorb quickly, or I want something that's like super highly engineered, like Martin gels, something that's going to also get absorbed by my body really quickly. And there's kind of two real main things that I'm looking for when I'm looking at a gel. And one of those things is, does it make me feel not hungry? And does it give me sodium? And so those are like really the two main things. Because if I'm just looking at carbs, I can drink all my carbs along the race route. I could stop at every aid station and drink the Gatorade or the Noon or whatever sports drink that they have there. But in addition to that, what I'm looking for is the ability to get some salt in my system. Now, I know Gatorade does have some salt in it, but for me, when it comes to marathon length distances, salt management has always been a problem, especially on hotter races. And so that's something that I'm concerned with. The other thing that I'm concerned with, I don't know if it's nerves, the schedule of race days, or whatever it is, but always around mile 4 or mile 5 of a longer race, whether it's a half marathon or a marathon, my stomach just gets hungry. It gets like an empty feeling, and I feel hungry, and it's very distracting. So having a gel is nice, so that way I could get something in my stomach, something in there to kind of placate the butterflies and whatever else is going on down there. And so that's the other thing that I'm looking for in a gel, is can it like kind of satisfy me as like a food. And for this, it definitely does. The first ingredient in this is basmati rice, and the second ingredient is banana. And so lots of natural food in here. This is the Canaberry. On the backside, it says it's crazy strawberry is the flavor. The marketing and the packaging say it's designed for high intensity running. For me, so far, I've had it on a couple of runs. I've taken it on a couple of my treadmill runs, so anything from 4 or 5 to about 9 miles, I think. On the treadmill, I've taken this, eaten one of these like every half hour or so, taking it on one of my run commutes home as well, just so I could get a feel for what it's like to run with it outside while also eating it. So I had a couple of experiences there. And overall, I think it's a really tasty food. It touts itself as being easy on your digestive system. It's telling you that it's going to have no GI problems because it's made of real food. I don't normally get GI problems when I take either a gel or a goo or any kind of other running nutrition, so I can't really comment on whether that's an issue. It didn't give me any GI problems, but I normally don't have that. So if you've experienced it and are one of those people and like the Spring Energy, because of the fact that it doesn't give any GI issues or troubles to you, please let me know in the comments. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are very curious about that. Now, in terms of what else is in here, it's 17 grams of carbohydrates. And in addition to the 17 grams of carbs, usually I'm looking for anywhere between 15 and 20 grams of carbs in a running nutrition packet. It also has about 60 milligrams of potassium and 60 milligrams of sodium, which I think are pretty good numbers in terms of the salt. And again, that's a main thing that I'm looking for when I'm eating one of these gels. I do wish that it had caffeine in it. Now, I know Spring Energy makes a different one that has caffeine in it. This one doesn't. So if you don't want caffeine, and again, I think because they want to make sure it's easier on people's stomachs for this flavor, there isn't caffeine in it. Although personally, I like whenever there's caffeine in a running gel. Now, in terms of actually using this packet, running with it, getting it open was relatively okay. It's a little bit thicker of a material in terms of the plastic or the packaging that they have compared to some other gels, but I didn't have any problems running with it, even in the cold, getting it open. Eating it, the texture is very thick, not like goo and syrupy or pasty thick, but like a very thick food puree, not very watery at all, but very easy to take. When you eat this when it's very cold out, the temperature changes the consistency, makes it a little bit thicker still. And as I was eating it on that one snowy day outside, it definitely felt more like I was basically squeezing a banana or a strawberry banana into my mouth. And so I was like chewing the food, which for the part of me that just wants to eat food on a course sometimes, was really, really nice. And so I do actually really enjoy this Canaberry flavor. I don't think that I would ever run a race with just these. I'll probably mix them up, have one of these kind of in the beginning to take care of like the hunger that I always normally get, and then supplement it with some other gels, other things that I like for later on in the race, probably something more with caffeine in it for later on in the race. For the race tomorrow, the F3, it's gonna be super freezing cold. The two gels that I'm bringing for a half marathon, I'm gonna have one of these, and I'll probably bring one of the Cliff Shots that has the 100 milligrams of caffeine in it for a little bit of pick-me-up on the later half of the race, and hopefully that gel doesn't freeze by the time I get to it. I paid for a 10-pack, $27.65, so a little bit under $3 per pack, which isn't terrible, but it isn't great either. But you are getting real food, and it definitely feels like it. It tastes like it. It feels like it. So it might be worth a shot. Those are my thoughts on the Spring Energy Canaberry flavor. Let me know if you've tried it or any of the other flavors. I'd love to hear about your experiences down in the comments. I'm sure a lot of the other viewers who are watching would love to hear your comments as well. I can only try so many of the gels, although I'm doing my best to try them all. So we'll see how we go from there. Before I leave for today, I want to talk about today's charity runner for the day. Today's charity runner is Beth Tamayo, and she's going to be running the 2019 Boston Marathon for Team Cycle for Kids. And they want to engage kids in physical activities to help address the emotional and health issues facing underactive children. So a very worthy cause. I've donated $10, and I'll post a link in the description below in case you'd like to learn more. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Tomorrow I'm going to be running a super freezing cold race. Wish me luck, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?